What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. The book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below, as usual. Hitting shit. This video is entitled Counsel in a Crunch Moment. And this is what I mean. You know, you need people in your life who've had crunch moments or tough, adverse situations and who are able to walk you through the process of a crunch moment, whether it be physically, mentally, you know, spiritually, whatever. You know, you need people in your life who's been through something, and people can't give you advice about how to handle a crunch moment if they haven't been in one. You know what I'm saying? And I think society is losing its people who have been in crunch moments, and we're not, and other people are being sheltered from having them. So it's hard for, you know, for me personally, sometimes it's hard to take advice from somebody who hasn't, if I'm asking about something in particular, who hasn't had a crunch moment in particular. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the thing that I'm asking for. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't have knowledge in everything. You know, my grandparents were people who understood principles. And, you know, they can relay back to you how something will work out in the end if you stick to the principles of it. And why they knew their principles worked is because they had to take those principles in adverse moments, in adverse situations, in crunch time, and do what they needed to do, but still believe that it would work out the way they thought. So let's get into it in these ways. You know, I've had moments in life where I was frustrated and I didn't have anybody to talk to because the people that I was talking to didn't have crunch moments where, you know, they were inexperienced and frustrated and not knowing how to compete. I say it that way. And I've trial and error learned on my own. And I've been in situations where I physically wasn't able to do things that I was normally accustomed to doing, and I hadn't had people around me who had been in crunch moments who could understand that, and it can teach me how to adapt and adjust and stick in what I could do physically at the time. You know, I've had moments where you know, my will was tested, and I didn't know how to respond in a crunch moment. And, you know, I learned some of those things by trial and error. So trial and error means you win some, you lose some, you know. But as I grew, I understood why it was so important to have wise counsel, because wise counsel can counsel you through crunch moments in life where you don't know if you're coming or going. You don't know what's up and what's down. You don't know whether to keep going or to quit. You know, and you don't know how to master your emotions in a high stress situation. You don't know how to be, you know, how to be calm in the midst of the storm. And this is what I learned about, you know, having a crunch moment. The best part about it isn't the fact that you can, when you get it and you overcome it and you've been there, and it gives you that confidence that you know how to handle yourself in situations that life brings toward you, it brings to you, or whatever, however you want to say it. It gives you the confidence to know you can do it again, and to know you can adjust and adapt and figure it out on the fly. You know, think on your feet, be able to bounce back if you got knocked down or took a loss. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like the confidence and the memory about it is not necessarily for you. It's to give somebody else that knowledge, that, you know, they'll be able to listen to you and follow your instructions better because they know it's coming from a place that's actually been where they're at, or where they're trying to go, or if they're in the midst of something you're basically a consigliere, and you can give them, you know, the rundown on how things worked out in your situation, even though it may be a different time, a different era. You know what I mean? But they know the internal struggle of having a crunch moment. You know, it's one thing for people to tell you, you know, oh, chill out, it's nothing, but that's not what's bubbling inside of you, you know. And a lot of times people who haven't been in crunch moments don't understand the inner turmoil, don't understand the frustration when you're processing information so fast, but you don't, but you don't know which thing actually is going to work, and you don't know how to observe your opposition in a crunch moment. You don't know how to observe your surroundings properly in a crunch moment. You don't know how to respond properly in a crunch moment when it's something that you're new to, you're a novice at it. And you know, you need that counsel. You know, when people tell you, oh, it's gonna be all right, you know, just keep doing what you're doing, everything gonna work out in the end. That sounds good coming from a person who hasn't been in a situation, but it sounds better from a person who's been there and done it. It's like, look, just keep, it's gonna be okay. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. You know, and one of the things about it is, especially, is when you're in a crunch moment, sometimes it's hard to stick to a plan, because whatever happened could jar you so much that you throw your plan out the window. And people who've been in crunch moments can tell you, okay, you stepped away from the plan and you got hit with whatever came your way. Now dust yourself off and get back to the plan. This is what works for you. They're doing what works for them. Don't fall into the trap of what works for them. Go back to what works for you. Do what you do well. And it can refocus a person, because in life, momentum can change and confidence can change. It can grow or shrink. Momentum can grow or shrink. You know, people who've been in crunch moments know how to stop a person's momentum, or stop life's momentum, or being willing to understand that this one you're just gonna have to take the best shot that is coming at you, and you're gonna have to respond, you know, after, you know, you withstand this onslaught, you know, but still be calm. You're gonna still be in the mix as long as you know, do the best to protect yourself. And I think that's a problem, because one of the things about baptism by fire is everybody isn't willing to do it. And even some of the people who have done it, they really didn't ask for it. It wasn't like they were willing participants. It was just a fight or flight moment, or fight or flight moments. You know what I'm saying? But they were able to just say, go with the flow. Like, and that's one thing about being in a crunch moment. You have to be able to, first and foremost, just say F it and accept all of the pros and cons that could happen in the midst of a situation, you know. And some people can't do that because there are no guarantees, you know, in life, especially in crunch moments. It can be a roller coaster ride of emotions, you know. Sometimes just the fact that you get out with your faculties of your life, or you know, or just a peace of mind to know that it's over is good enough. Even if you lose, you know, but if you win, it's like, yeah, I know exactly what to do. You know, I know exactly how to pull this off. And I think that's the thing. Like, when you don't have people who know that, because like I said before, for me it was frustrating that I have counsel that could talk to me about a crunch moment. You know, I love my grandmother dearly, but you know, and I got to say that because I love my grandmother dearly. She's passed on or whatever. But she was one of the realest people in my life, because she would tell me, look, I don't know nothing about these situations. I can help you with things I know about, but I can't help you with this. And see, that's beautiful, because when somebody hasn't had those crunch moments, they can let you know they don't know how to handle those crunch moments. And it doesn't change the relationship. Like, that actually reinforces it, because sometimes you're going to have to go it alone. And, sometimes, you're just going to have to figure it out as you go. But the fact that you have it, you have to learn how to be, sometimes you have to learn how to adapt, how to format a situation off of something that doesn't pertain to that situation. What I mean by that is, say a soldier got into a firefight. Now they're in a business dealing. Two completely different things. But they can understand how people work under pressure, so they can bring that together. And because they've been in one of those crunch moments, they get how to operate in that crunch moment with those surrounding people who are working in an atmosphere of high pressure, high stakes, So this is why I say you need counsel in crunch moments, because they can really help you succeed. And I hope one day you become that counsel for somebody else in a crunch moment, because it's really how you take it from one level to take the next generation to a higher level. Y'all have a good one. Peace.